Imagine a coin meant for pocket change, a coin that countless Americans once handled without a second thought, now commanding an astonishing market value of $144.5 million. That number is so large, so unbelievable, that it begs the question, how can a simple quarter, struck in the mid-1960s, become one of the most valuable coins on the planet? That is exactly what we are going to uncover in this deep dive into history, rarity, minting detail, and the powerful forces of demand and storytelling that elevate coins into myths. The story of the 1965 quarter begins with change not just in people's pockets, but in the very fabric of the United States monetary system. Until 1964, quarters were struck in 90% silver and 10% copper, a tradition that had lasted for decades. But in the early 1960s, rising silver prices threatened to make the very coins themselves worth more in metal than their face value. People began hoarding silver coins, pulling them from circulation as fast as they could. The U.S. Treasury and the Mint knew something had to be done. In 1965, they introduced a brand new composition, the Clyde coinage. The quarter dollar was no longer struck from silver but from a copper-nickel sandwich, with a pure copper core bonded to outer layers of copper-nickel alloy. This was a monumental shift in American coinage, ending an era and beginning a new one. That is what makes the 1965 quarter so historically significant. It marks the very first year of Clyde coinage for the denomination, a transition away from precious metal and into modern circulating coinage. For collectors, transition years are always important. They represent turning points, and often they create opportunities for mistakes and rarities. And indeed, the 1965 quarter is no exception. While billions of these Clyde quarters were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, a handful of extraordinary coins slipped through the cracks, creating rarities that today command astonishing sums. The most famous and valuable of these 1965 quarters are those that were accidentally struck on silver planchets intended for 1964 coinage. As the mint shifted from silver to Clyde, leftover silver blanks remained in the machinery, and a few were struck with the 1965 date. These transitional era coins are among the rarest of all modern quarters. Their value has soared over the years as collectors recognize both their rarity and their importance in telling the story of America's coinage evolution. Now, you may wonder how